They keep showing that image in my mind again of like this really beautiful, I don't know if it's like a sports car or what, but it was like a really nice car, but it was hidden in a garage, covered under everything, in an old shed that was off to the side. It wasn't even part of the house, so it was like never seen. And it's kind of like it is a beautiful mind is something that shouldn't go to waste. And so they were showing this in so many different ways. And we were talking about the things that I would like in my life, like how I'd like my life designed and looking and da-da-da-da. And it's true, we get weighed down, bogged down, covered up with all the burdens of life. Right? It's like it can end up becoming excuses or justifications, and sometimes it's also just the reality of it. But it was more than that, because as we went more into it, it was like, oh, well, this is why people like to be, not that they like to be, but like presidents and all these things where it's like they understand what they're bringing to the table is a valuable mind, a solution machine. And no, they cannot be burdened and bothered with the mundane things, because they have something more powerful that can be serving a greater good if put to proper use. But that is the problem a lot. Like, I think there's a lot of people, honestly, I think probably the majority of people on this earth are not able to, it's like put their mind to proper use, put their skills and talents. But it's like because they haven't even had time to recognize them. And it's like I can hear myself, I hear myself arguing for the limitations and the excuses and justifications of why we aren't where we want to be. And yet, that is the problem for a lot of people. It's like getting up, out from underneath all the gook, which is all the confusions and justifications. It does take some time dedicated to that, and it's believing in oneself strong enough. Right? Like, is it worth uncovering all that, getting rid of all that, setting things up? Like, sometimes it does take the time of truly addressing all of that to flow into what you want. And I guess that is the idea, that people end up giving up, or they don't believe in themselves, or they don't stick it out long enough, or they don't have the patience, or there's just so many things, which I know, again, is back to justifications and excuses. I understand. And I guess it's just a fine line and a balance, because I'm thinking, I know there's a lot of people who could just relax and be happy with what is, truly, truly. Yet I also believe that when they get to their deathbed, they're going to say, the truth is, I actually wish I did work harder at not just relaxing and going with that flow, but making things shake and move. And that did require me putting in more effort at times. And that's when I think people get confused, because they will jump from their heart, they will jump from inspiration, they will move with the flow, and things still, and so they get stuck in their head with, well, should I pivot? Is it not working? Do I have to keep busting through? Blah. It's like, what's the story here? And so then we start to lose our balance and get topsy-turvy. Yeah, I don't know. They're just showing so many different scenarios now, which were not what we were discussing. Yeah, it's like the idea of like, what is it you want and where do you want to be? But it's almost like not asking, well, why aren't you there? Because the second you ask, well, why aren't you there? We tend to then say, oh, well, let me tell you my excuse book, my list of reasons. And it brings us back to that focus versus allowing the solution. Maybe that's it. It's like if you're not trying to excavate a real blockage, then don't ask why. Maybe. I don't think that's it, but maybe it's the wrong why. Maybe it's the wrong why. Maybe it's the wrong why. It's not why aren't you there? Why do you want to be there? Maybe that's the better. It's like, why do you want to be there? What will that evoke in you? What will that bring forth? How will that please you? How will that feel? Why will it feel that way? What is it? It's like asking the why in the forward focus. That's what it is. That's what it is. People get confused on the why. People get confused. That's what it is. It is true. I know I do that. Right, for what I just said. Why aren't you there? No. That has you backwards looking. And excuse making. And justification explaining. Versus, why do you want to be there? What does that mean to you? What do you think that means? Why that? Right? Because oftentimes we'll think we want something because we think it'll bring us X, Y, and Z. And it may or it may not. But if we can recognize that, why do we want that? What do we believe that will mean? What will that bring us? Will it bring us peace, ease? What will you do with that extra time? Do you really want that extra time? Right? Like just little questions where it's like, don't be careful, because as you can hear, I can slip into negative there. It's kind of still getting to the core of it. And I think, unfortunately, that is true. Unfortunately, I think what ends up happening, because we don't ask why we want something and we get it right away, it's like then we're never satisfied because it wasn't the actual manifestation or destination we were seeking. Which is back to this annoying enjoy the journey. And it's such a hard thing to hear, I think, for some of us, when we can't seem to relax because we believe then. We believe when we have that, then we will. And oftentimes it's not the case, because there's always going to be another when. Well, when, always. So the more we can settle into accepting what is, and truly relax into that, it is like we loosen the grip more interior, like the internal relaxes, which is what you were seeking with the when then anyway. And yet you can do it right here, right now. It's the stickiness of the mind, how we hear, how we understand, how we learn. How we rush, how we race, how we stop, how we stay stagnant. All these little silly things, right? It's learning how to juggle it all, balance it all, and drop it all. It's like we're just playing with ourselves constantly. That is what it feels like. I do that in obvious, silly ways, and it's like I do it to myself sneakily too. It's like obvious and like I'll wipe everything clean and get down to the bare bones, and I'm like, God, I love the simplicity of this. And then slowly but surely you're like, God, I wish I had this. God, I wish I had that. Shit, sorry I got rid of that. Sorry I got rid of this. And it's like, oh, we made it too simple. But then you can slowly start to creep back into the ease of, oh, it was nice to have this. So you get this and this and this. And you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot how nice it was to have this too. And you get this and this and this. And you utilize it right away because you're loving it. But then again, it starts to collect dust. And you're like, why the fuck did I get that again? And so it's like we're doing it to ourselves when we stay in those silly cycles. Because we can't, it's like either enjoy the truth of life, like really enjoy life. We get caught up in the stuff or the logistics or instead of just allowing those thoughts to pass us by. Let them come, let them go. It's like they seem so, oh, that's true. It's like the tattoo thing. It's like a lot of people, like I used to want, when I was little, I used to want tattoos. And I'd be like, oh, I want that. And my father would be like, no. And then finally he was like, listen, if you really want one, if you want the same one in a year from now, you can get it. And of course, it's always like when you really want something, you're like, yeah, no, I want it forever. Yeah, fine. It's a ridiculously long time to make me wait, but fine. Well, it never even took me a year, right? Even a month later, I'd be like, holy shit. Could you imagine if I got that stained onto my body? I can't imagine. But we are so certain. We're a billion times certain in the moment. And then it's fleeting. It's more fleeting than we realize. Until the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then you start to watch them just float on by. You're like, you're right, thank God. But you have to be careful with that too. You don't want everything to float on by, right? You want to jump and enjoy some, but you have to, it's like, have that discernment and be pickier and realize what it is you're really looking for. What is it you're really looking for? Why do you really want that, right? And is it for you? Oh, that's a good one. And is it even for you? Or is the current trend? Or others are telling you it's so cool. So now you're like, oh yeah, that is cool. So now you think it's cool. But if no one were around and you saw that, would you still think it's cool, right? Like, you know, what were you looking to get? To look cool? To get validation? To get acceptance? To get approval? To get what? Oh, the silly things we do. And so, of course, when I get in these states, I'm also like, yeah, I would be happy. Sell it all. Let's figure it out down to a backpack that I can go travel the world and enjoy experiences and people and places, right? And nowadays people make clothing so ridiculously, well, it's crap, but it's cheap too. But it's like you can go buy that in each place in that you don't have to even carry it with you because there's so much abundance everywhere. And depending on where you are is going to determine what you should be wearing anyway. So you wear it for the month you're there and then leave it behind as you go to the next place. Do you see what I'm saying? But I also know me, that'll last for a time and I'll be like, I have no roots, right? It's like you go back and forth with all this. It's like, who wants the roots and the burden and the heaviness of having to maintain something that you might never get back to? But then when you want to get back to it, you're like, oh man, now we have to find a place to set up where. It's excess thought, right? It's like, I don't know what they call that in Ayurvedic. It's probably pity, I think. I forget. It's something, it's like you're too much in your head, right? It's like I have to get out of my thoughts need to calm. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.